Mr. Chairman. I want to put a plug in for the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. I went there. It's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well-earned compliment. Secretary Mabus, thank you for your years of service. It's been quite a ride for you. I really appreciate what you've done for the country. Admiral, have you ever seen more threats to the homeland than today since you've been in the military?
You'd have to go back to the Cold War and the Soviet Union, sir, to see anything that compares today.
Okay. What about you, General?
No, I'd say this is the most unstable security environment I've observed.
In the last 5 years, has the op tempo of the Marine Corps been high?
Yes, sir.
Has the budget been cut?
It has.
Have we put people at risk by doing that?
The 4 deployed forces, I have confident, are prepared to do their mission, but if we had to go further into the bench, those that are getting ready or that have just come back, there would be risk.
What about those who are training back here at home?
The ones that are getting ready to go, Senator, I'm confident that they're able to get ready, but there is some reduction in their ability. We're still working on some of the gear and some of the modernization.
Here's what you said about aviation readiness is really my #1 concern. You said this yesterday. We don't have enough airplanes that we would call ready basic aircraft. That means we're not getting enough flight hours. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Don't you think that's putting people at risk?
If those forces had to deploy, they would be at risk, yes.
Even for training?
Part of the getting ready is the training, so we have a challenge.
You're in a dangerous business even in peacetime.
It's always a dangerous business, especially flying airplanes.
I hope the committee understands that, and I want to compliment the chairman and the vice chairman. You're trying to help, but we really are putting people's lives at risk. I think that's just my personal opinion. Admiral, when it comes to the Navy, what's the optimum number of ships that we should have given the threats we face?
So I'll tell you that the force structure assessment, our current best estimate of that is 308 ships, and we're going to reach that by fiscal year 2021.
No, what's the optimum number?
Sir, I'll tell you that that analysis is from 2012. When we did that analysis, Russia had not started to.
Has that number changed?
Pardon me, sir?
Has that number changed based on what China and Russia has done?
We've commissioned another assessment of the force structure.
When will we know about this?
It'll be done this year, so we're stepping on the gas to get through this, and you know, given that
your best guess is that the assessment would say we need more ships, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Secretary, you said we're going to go to 318 by 2021. Is that correct?
No, 308, Senator.
I'm sorry, 308.
Yes.
By 2021.
Yes.
What if sequestration goes back into effect? Is that still the same?
If sequestration goes, well, we will get to 308 ships by 2021.
But
just under the ships we have under contract today, the ships that have been authorized and appropriated.
But if
now, what we're talking about, I'm sorry, what we're talking about is what the fleet looks like past that.
But what I'm talking about is sequestration goes back into effect. You're still going to build the ships to 308, right?
We will still build the ships to 308, but the fleet past that would decline precipitously.
So what gives? If sequestration goes back into effect, something's got to give.
Oh, every program gives. And even the shipbuilding programs that the ships are under contract would be at risk.
So the ships are at risk, and those who man the ships would be at risk.
I think sequestration puts every program at risk. It puts everything we do at risk.
The Marines, do you agree with that? That if we go back to sequestration, you're going to make it very difficult for the Marine Corps?
I do, Senator.
For the Navy?
Sir, I'll tell you the first thing that'll go is that bench, the readiness, right? Those are the accounts that get decommissioned.
As the threats go up, our readiness and our bench goes down.
It's not a good trend.
Okay. If you captured somebody tomorrow in the Marine Corps who was a high-value target in the war on terror, what would you do with them, General?
Well, right now, based on their status as a combatant, if they were a non-combatant or they were...
No, a high-level ISIL person, enemy combatant, what would you do with them?
That'd be a policy decision. We'd have to have some place to detain him. We'd have to have some...
Do you know where that place is?
Right now, it's Guantanamo.
Okay, can you use Guantanamo?
Sir, I don't know the answer to that.
I do. The answer is no. Admiral, what would the Navy do?
It would be in the same position, sir.
So you really don't have a plan?
The, from my perspective, the
Could you
thing-
use Guantanamo Bay?
Sir, you've made it clear that the answer to that is no.
Okay, thank you both. Thank you all for your service.
Thank you, Senator.